NFL Top 100. First part of this list was made last week. Here's the second part. 50 Micah Hyde, safety, Buffalo Bills. Very underrated. I feel like one of the best safeties in the NFL overall. And the Buffalo in general have a very underrated defense. 49, Devondre Campbell, linebacker, Green Bay Packers. Jared Alexander and Devondre Campbell are probably one of the best defensive players. And I expect a couple more Packers players to be on this list, but I think it's going to be less than last year just because Devontae left, and I think this may be the main reason. 48, Robert Quinn, linebacker, Chicago Bears. Very good selection on this list. One of the best defensive players on the Bears as well. There's a lot of good defensive players for their team. 47, Fred Warner, linebacker, 49ers. He might be one of the best linebackers in the NFL right now, and one of the best defensive players. 46, Austin Eckler, running back, Los Angeles Chargers. He had a very good season last year. I feel like a lot of people slept on him. He was very underrated for most of the season. I feel like at the end he became perfectly rated. And 45, Jordan Poyer, safety, Buffalo Bills. Those two safeties are very good, and very good duos of safeties, to be honest. Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde on the same team. I think Micah Hyde personally is better, but what's your opinion on that? 44, Dak Prescott, QB, Dallas Cowboys. I'd put him somewhere around maybe 55. I think 44 is a bit too high on this list, to be honest. 43, Derwin James, safety, Los Angeles Chargers. A lot of people thought he was overpaid for his contract and were saying that he wasn't healthy enough for most of the time to even play in some of the games. 42, Cameron Hayward, defensive tackle, Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers have a great defense and was really the only thing keeping them alive last season, winning them games. Kenny Pickett will be a lot better than Ben Roethlisberger, at least for starting off this season, and that's just my opinion. 41, Tristan Wirfs, tackle, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, probably one of the best tackles in the NFL. And let's keep going on this list. Number 40, you have Justin Herbert, QB, Los Angeles Chargers. I agree with that position right there. 39, Chris Jones, defensive tackle, Kansas City Chiefs. Very underrated. I agree with that position. 38, Joe Mixon, running back, Cincinnati Bengals. I agree with that. I think he was very good last season and consistent for the Bengals. And him, Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow with T. Higgins as well, they proved to have one of the best offensive teams in the NFL, to be honest. I feel like the only thing lacking on their offensive side was the offensive line. Their offensive line did improve in this offseason, so that's a good thing. It'll help Joe Mixon. 37, DeAndre Hopkins, wide receiver, Arizona Cardinals. I agree with that position right there. He's going to be suspended for probably a couple games this season for his substance that he got caught using and violated the NFL's policy on PEDs and performance enhancing. So it's going to be interesting to see how good his stats are going to be, and is this going to influence the Cardinals' record with him not playing? I'm having a scary prediction right here that the Cardinals will have a better record without DeAndre Hopkins than they will have with him. That's my prediction right there. 36, Lamar Jackson, QB, Baltimore Ravens. I agree with that position overall. Lamar Jackson, I think he's had a great year. I think a lot of people have been down for the last 2 years. And all the Lamar Jackson's running back comments that have been going on for years now, they need to stop. And I think he's improved them all wrong. He might have a good chance to win the Super Bowl, to be honest. And one of the best NFL players, in my opinion. 34, Kevin Byard, safety, Tennessee Titans. Was very underrated in the playoffs. I feel like the Titans need to move on from Ryan Tannehill. That's my main positioning on the Titans in general. Derrick Henry, he did get injured last season, but I'm looking for a bounce-back season. Comeback player of the year in my prediction for Derrick Henry. And then 32, you have 33, Nick Chubb, running back. Cleveland Browns. I would put him maybe around 20. He's really that good of a player. And he was really one of the vocal points of their offense last season. And was just one of the best players. I feel like he is their best player, and it's really him and Myles Garrett. Actually, Myles Garrett might be better than him. I take that back. Myles Garrett is their best player, but he should be around top 10, top 15 in my opinion. Myles Garrett. 32, Mark Andrews, tight end, Baltimore Ravens. I like this position right there. He's probably one of the best tight ends in the NFL. Hopefully there's not too many more tight ends ahead of him, because I think he was the second best tight end in the NFL last season, and he proved it by the stats he was putting up. 31, Dalvin Cook, a running back. I think he had an okay season. I think Nick Chubb's definitely better than him. That's ridiculous to not do that. 30, Joey Bosa, defensive end. Him and Khalil Mack are going to be insane this season together. And I'm looking for Joey Bosa to have a very good... He might win Defensive Player of the Year. That could be surprising for some people, but in my opinion, it's not. 29, Bobby Wagner, linebacker. Pretty good position on this list. 28, Quentin Nelson, guard, Indianapolis Colts. Another great guard. 27, Matthew Stafford, QB. I have to put him right there. I agree with that position right there. 27 sounds about right. 26, Stephon Diggs, Buffalo Bills. 26, that's... I feel like he had great offensive numbers last year and was really consistent. 25, Nick Bosa, defensive end. Joey Bosa's brother. He put up pretty good numbers, but I think Joey Bosa had a better season, to be honest. I'd switch to their spots. 24, Jamar Chase, wide receiver, Cincinnati Bengals. There were some doubts starting off. Some people were like, is he going to be able to succeed in the NFL? He's dropping too many balls. But once the regular season started, he went off and become one of the best young wide receivers in the NFL. And there's not that much more to say. He's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. 23, Trayvon Diggs, cornerback, Dallas Cowboys, which he had a great season last year with all the interceptions he had. And Micah has to be in the top 10, in my opinion. Or top 20, somewhere around there. Somewhere around here, which I think he deserves it. He had a great season last year. And maybe could have won Defensive Player of the Year. I think he was the runner-up for it as a rookie. He would have been the first rookie since Lawrence Taylor to get it, but I think he has a very good chance of winning Defensive Player of the Year, to be honest. 22, George Kittle, tight end, 49ers. I think I'll switch Mark Andrews and George Kittle, now looking at this list. And 21, Joe Burrow, Cincinnati Bengals. I agree with this position on the list. 21's about right for me where I'd put him. And he could drop up in the top 10, top 15 by the end of this year. And maybe dark horse MVP prediction. That's not that bad of a prediction, to be honest. And here's Jason McCourty's top 10 wide receivers entering the 2022 season. Let's see what his list is looking like. So, number 1, Devontae Adams, wide receiver, Las Vegas Raiders. In my opinion, I agree with that. He's number 1. Number 2, Cooper Kupp, Offensive Player of the Year. There's not that much more to say. Triple crown for wide receivers, receiving yards, receiving touchdowns, and receptions. Number 3, Justin Jefferson, wide receiver, Minnesota Vikings. I think a lot of people put him in number 3. He could have a very good chance of going number 2 or number 1, but at the present moment, he's number 2 and number 3 in my opinion. Number 4, Jamar Chase, Cincinnati Bengals. I agree with that positioning right there. He really had a great season, and that's entering this season. So it's not overall rating of where they last season, based on last season, he should be the 4th best receiver. I agree with that. Number 5, Stephon Diggs, Buffalo Bills. That's a good position for him. Number 6, Tyreek Hill. I feel like a lot of people might argue against Tyreek Hill really being there, to be honest. Like, they might say, oh, he might be number 4. He should be number 4 instead of Jamar Chase. I think Jamar Chase has the better season than Tyreek Hill. The Dolphins is going to be an interesting spot for him to go to. Tua, I think, is going to succeed with Tyreek Hill. A lot of people have been, oh, Tua's not that good or anything like that. Every time Tua's had success, he's had successful wide receivers. So, in my opinion, I think Tua's going to have a better season than people expect. And then, number 7, Deebo Samuel, San Francisco 49ers. Got that good contract extension, made a lot more money, $25 million, I'm pretty sure somewhere around there, a year. And a lot of people were saying, oh, if he's not going to do wide receiver, running back 1, he's not going to be as valuable. I think he's still going to have high numbers. They're going to throw the ball to him a lot. Trey Lance, I think, is going to target him a lot, and they're going to have a great season. Number 8, Mike Evans, wide receiver, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Probably the most consistent wide receiver in the last 10 years, to be honest. Put up consistent numbers, has more yards than a lot of big players in the last 10 years, and been consistently in the top 10. I feel like he maybe could be higher on this list, to be honest. I don't really know who I'd probably switch him with. Maybe Deebo Samuel, to be honest. 7 to 8, switch that around. Number 9, A.J. Brown, Philadelphia Eagles. I agree with that position on this list. Number 10, Keenan Allen, Los Angeles Chargers. He's not brought up enough in these top 10 wide receiver conversations, in my opinion. He's around 10 at most of the time, but I think he should be on this list. Comment down below your opinion, though. This is probably going to be the end of the video, and what do you think about the NFL Top 100, and what are your upcoming predictions about this NFL season?